Hey there, YouTube. Not getting any younger, so I thought I would sort of go over some of my past stuff. This is a brochure that Paul Rand gave to me before he died, and I'm always held on to it, 1996. And this is one of the first things that I designed. And I've set up my studio to be able to let you see things. I had this set up during the pandemic, and I'm so excited that I can actually make it happen again. So let's sort of dig in for a second. I want to show you this little pamphlet here. It's called a Paul Rand retrospective, and it was a limited print run of different things that Mr. Rand created. And if you know his books, you know, these are examples that you would notice. Let's say one of my favorite ideas he always had was he would take type and make it into like a picture, or he would take a type and find a picture in it. Also, in his early days, he did a lot of these like fanciful illustrations, storybook covers, and this is a famous one, Dada. That's the random movement. Oh my gosh, that's the large language model era comeback. And signals, Morse code-ish things, and of course his famous IBM logo. You may not know color forms, but that was popular when I was a kid. And the ABC logo, Westinghouse logo, and some of these pieces are, this is for Aspen, I believe, but his work, and that's 1965, mind you, a long time ago. And gosh, look at that. Sort of a history. This is the book that I found Paul Rand's work in, and it is what basically made me switch to design from engineering. This one is quite famous, the IBM Rebus IBM, and of course the next logo. And this is quite, oh look and run. Ooh. I actually worked on this book. I was visiting his studio and he wouldn't pay me. So he said to me, I'm not going to pay you, but you can type your name into my book. And I didn't want any payment anyways because I was just visiting his studio for the day. And I thought I was going to just visit for half an hour, but I ended up working the whole day for him because his assistant was sick that day. So anyways, that's how I ended up in that book. And really, I began my career by finding him in this book. Let me show you something that most people don't know. This is one of my first design pieces upside down. And at the time, I was really wanting to be seen. You know, when you're a design person back then, there wasn't this thing called the internet. So this is the very first, what do they call these things? They're like books of designs, and I designed this. I was very happy with this design. My first kind of very sort of minimalist design, and that was for Yama in Japan. And then I was also able to get into another one of these. This was really kind of like, you really wanted to be in these books, by the way. This one here, I made it based upon a barcode, and it was kind of expensive. You could like, it had a perforated line here, so you could sort of tear it off like a ticket. I've seen that style used recently in stuff I've seen. But anyways, very common idea. And lastly, this is the design for a business card for a research foundation I was at. If you notice, it's very, what do you call it, British. There's this person I was working with named Rodney, or in Japanese. And so I wanted to make something a little more kind of aggressive. And this is, as you can tell, a little more kind of crazy, you know, design that's hard to read, but design that says something. So, wow. So that was my brief overview of my print work from a long time ago. I'm thinking these days that if you want to move into design from engineering, it's good to design and print, because print, when you send it to the printer, you can't undo anything. So you really focus. Whereas if you put stuff on the web, you can always change it. So moral of the story, if you want to go down the design rabbit hole, work in print. I know it sounds like ridiculous, but that's my advice for today from my journey from Paul Rand to the design world as I know it. Bye.